Well, hello, Mike Tobias here, and welcome to the Get Method Masterclass, Week 1, Video 1. This is an important video because we're going to talk about setting your foundations. Just like when you're building a house, if you build a really awesome house, but you don't build it on very good foundations, the house is going to fall over. And the same is true with growing your business on LinkedIn. You can't build an awesome business on bad foundations, nor can you build an awesome LinkedIn network on poor foundations. So it's important that you get your foundations right and that you make sure that they're in check all the time. And you want to make sure that everything you build is solid. And so that's what we're going to be talking about in Module 1. There are two parts to setting your foundation. First is just really about helping you understand that you're not alone in this. This isn't a course with a bunch of videos and you're done. You have literally joined a community of like-minded professionals who are pursuing their dreams and growing their business. So you may be sitting by yourself on a computer, but I want you to know you're not alone. You may be tempted by the other video titles to skip by this, but I don't want you to do that because you're going to miss some really important basics. So let's get started. So here's what we're going to cover. Just general housekeeping and how to get the most out of this program. And some important things to remember going into this training and the biggest period of change in your life. I'm also going to go through an overview of what this program is all about and everything that we're going to cover. And then your foundations. Why success on selling on LinkedIn is going to structurally depend on them. And then finally, we're going to go through the raw math of achieving your goals. And I want you to write down your goals, because if you don't write down your goals, they're just not going to happen. It just happens to be the way things work. So I want you to watch the training videos in full, do the work, and most questions are going to be answered in the training. So be sure to look for helpful links within each one of the training videos. Ask your questions in the Facebook group, and one of our expert coaches or community members will help you. And also invite you to attend one of our weekly coaching calls. And if none of those methods are going to work, I want you to shoot me an email at support@getsmethod.com, and one of our support staff is going to help you. So here's some important things for you to remember. There are no magic pills or flavors of the week in this program. This program teaches you the fundamentals of business and selling and mastering LinkedIn. And these are going to last you a lifetime. This program requires you to put in the work, and some of it will challenge you and push you outside your comfort zone. And you may feel a little uncomfortable at times. However, that's essential to change and growth. So do the work. If you just show up at these trainings, take notes, and don't do the work, I can assure you that nothing's going to change or improve for you. So I want you to show up, learn, take action, and stick with it. Where you are at in your life right now, financially, physically, mentally, this is precisely how you have designed it. You're responsible for where you are in life right now, and nobody else is. Just like you're responsible for where you are right now, you're going to be responsible for the results you get with this training program. Having observed many people, it's devastatingly obvious that those who achieve success take full responsibility for the results in life, and they never blame anyone else or play the victim. So you're going to come up against resistance, and I just want to get your head in the right place. Most people believe that resistance is a bad thing, and when they face it, they believe the right thing to do is stop or try something else with less resistance or no resistance at all. And the reality is the opposite is true. When you come up against resistance, you want to embrace it. Take it as feedback that you're doing something right and you're experiencing growth. Just like in a video game, you're choosing to play at a new level of life. And this new level attracts resistance, and growth is impossible without facing it. Remember, a plane takes off against the wind, not with it. The dark side. So let me explain what I mean by the dark side. Whenever I actually sit down and write out a goal to do anything, suddenly a new voice pops up in my head. It's like suddenly a whole bunch of ideas and distractions just start occupying my thoughts. I call it the dark side, and I'm sure you've had that happen to you too. The dark side is going to keep you from achieving your goals if you aren't able to identify its voice in your head. It's like there's one saying, "You can do it," and another voice, the dark side, saying, "You're fine, go back to bed." So you got to watch out for these voices from the dark side. So here's a few of them. The know-it-all. If you did know everything, then you wouldn't be here right now. You definitely don't know everything. If you knew everything about business, sales, marketing, and LinkedIn, then you'd be better at this than me, and chances are if you were, you wouldn't have bought this program to learn from me. Now, you don't know everything about the world, and you don't know everything about marketing on LinkedIn. I can assure you of that. I'm still learning every day. You don't want to feel like you know everything. When you get to a module, let's say it's a module on sales, you don't want to think, I already know sales. I've had people who are sales veterans who've come in here with 20-year careers and they've been top producers and they're like, this showed me a lot about sales that I never even thought was possible. So the worst thing you can do is think that you already know something, because you don't. You're not going to know this new way of doing it, which I've created. Keep an open mind. Put the student hat on. Let go of those beliefs that you already know everything. The next is the time waster. So the time waster uses interaction as a replacement for success and their own results. They join a group and then they jump into the Facebook group and they start reaching out to people. They're like, oh, hey, what's going on? Oh yeah, we should jump on Skype for a chat. Or hey, are you free to chat now? That's pretty much just social butterflies that are having chats with each other and not doing any work, and they're not getting any results. What they're doing is they're using interaction as a replacement for success. When you get success, you get a dopamine spike in your brain, and that's what makes you feel good. That's what happens when you make some money. If someone's not getting their success or dopamine from that, then they're going to find something else to do with it. Interacting with other people can be the same release. Doing that is just fooling yourself. It's fooling yourself that you don't need the success, because eventually it's going to dawn on you that you do need it, and you'll just have tricked yourself. So don't be that person that uses interaction as a replacement for your own results. You want to come into this program and focus on your own results first. It's kind of like when you get on a plane and they recommend that you put your own mask on before helping others. Well, that's what you should do in this program. Before you go and become a social butterfly, focus on yourself. Get your mindset right. Get your foundations right. Start taking actions. Get in motion, and then you can go and join some conversations. Next is analysis by paralysis. So asking questions about how X relates to Y and trying to understand everything academically, this is not an academic program, and thank God it's not, because it's quite obvious in the world right now that the sorts of people and the sorts of innovation that academic education systems are creating, it's stagnant. It's about to explode, really. The whole industry is completely on the tipping point, and so we are going to see the whole thing get shaken up big time, and it's because the academic way of learning has become too rigid and too stagnant, and it's over. There's a new age now, and the old traditional ways of doing things and the old traditional ways of thinking, they don't work anymore. So don't worry about how the training relates to X and Y, and don't try to understand everything academically, because this isn't an academics course. Next up is the friend. Talking to people and establishing relationships before gaining your own momentum. You don't want to do this. You don't want to go out and just make a bunch of friends before getting momentum for your business. Because like I said, you're not coming into this program just to talk with some friends or make some friends. You're coming in here to get results and change your life. Avoiding the question. This is a big one. I noticed that people who failed, they tell stories. They say things like, okay, well, here's my situation. And they say where they started. They talk about all this journey they went through, and it's always this big, long, complicated thing. And then at the very end, there's this little teeny question. It's like they feel we have to have this context before we could answer their little question. They've attached the question to this huge story, and they can't answer the question when they attach it to the story. But the question is often very simple when it's just asked as a question. But they refuse to ask it that way. Remember, when you're in this program, it's questions instead of stories. If you're telling a story, it means you've fooled yourself and you don't have a question. If you don't know what the question is, it means you're telling yourself a story. If you're stuck at any stage, or if you feel like things are hard, if you're doubting yourself, and if all of these things are happening and you just want to tell a massive story, well, stop. Pause for a minute and think, wait a minute, what is the question I need answered right now? Stop for a minute, pause, and be like, what question could I ask that if I had the answer to this thing, I would understand how to solve this problem? It's super important to stop whenever you're stuck in a rut like that. Stop and think, what's the question? How can I ask this as a question? Next is the Lone Ranger. And that's not asking for help in the Facebook group or getting on the coaching calls. You need to get on the Facebook group and talk with people. Get some feedback. Ask for help. This is a safe environment to talk and to practice. The last is playing the victim, playing anything other than yourself. This is a big one. This is the epitome of the dark side. This is it all wrapped up. It's playing the victim. It's saying, I'm not successful because of X. It's saying, the reason why I'm unhappy and the reason why I don't have what I want and the reason why things are the way they are is because of X. And X could be anything else that isn't you. So it could be your boss or the internet or your back pain. It could be the government. It could be this recent piece of news that's been on. It could literally be anything. The important thing to understand is that X isn't creating anything. It's you. The people who get success, they take full 100% responsibility for themselves and their situations. You need to take full responsibility and understand that where you are in life right now is your own doing. You did it all. Where you want to get to and the results you're going to get with this program are all you as well. It's always you. You definitely don't want to play the victim and blame anyone else because that's how you display the dark side, and I know it well. So you're going to be tempted to do everything other than work and make a sale. I mean this. This is what procrastinators do. You're starting a new program. There's going to be work to do. Some things are going to be challenging, pushing you outside your comfort zone, and you're going to want to do everything else other than the work. You're going to want to go get a new haircut. You're going to want to go out with your friends. You want to go partying. You're going to want to do everything. Probably want to even clean your house. You probably want to go clean your garage, which you never ever wanted to do either. But now that you've got this thing to do, you're probably going to go want to do that. It's very important whenever you feel procrastination to just pause for a minute and feel where that procrastination is pulling you. Where is it pulling you towards? If I sit down with the intent of writing an article, and then I start getting these urges and feelings to go watch TV or get on Facebook, I can feel that pull coming on. And it's pulling me over to my television set or to my phone. What's important to do is feel where it's pulling you away from, not where it's pulling you towards. If it's pulling me away from doing it, writing an article, and towards watching TV, I know the right thing to do is write my article and to not turn on the TV. Whatever way you feel it pulling, go the opposite, and you'll always be doing the right thing at that point in time. You must do the work, and you must stick to it. So here's a few important things to remember. First, nothing is failure. Some things we try here will fail. Some calls won't end in a yes. Some campaigns will bomb, but this provides us with essential feedback to course correct and get closer to success. Take massive action and know that it's not going to be perfect. Your messages will feel imperfect. Sales calls imperfect. You're going to doubt the target profile you pick. Believe me, everybody doubts all their own stuff initially. It's normal. That's what taking big leaps forward feels like. Feeling comfortable is bad, so please know that as you level up yourself, you will invite discomfort. Embrace it. You have to be willing to do whatever it takes. This is your time and your calling to play a bigger game and become a better person. Lose all your stories of the past because they are not welcome here. I will be completely upfront with you at all times. If you're going to complain or blame something else other than yourself, I will tell you to quit and get out of sales. We're here to win. So I want to go through some pitfalls that you need to watch out for. First is not making enough offers to people. Your income is directly related to how many people you have a conversation with. No sales this week? How many strategy sessions have you done? No strategy session? How many promotions did you do this week to generate them? Overanalyzing which target profile to go with is the next one. How to structure your offer, perfecting your plan, waiting for the perfect time to start. You'll never feel comfortable doing this initially, so no amount of waiting helps. The best time to act was yesterday. The next best time is now. The third point is ignoring the mindset of the process. This program has two key parts, mental and tactical. I've never met a person who's achieved results without treating both sides with equal importance. You need to apply the tactics as well as reprogram your mind. You can't have one without the other. And the last is just doing busy work. Working on anything that is not promoting to generating a strategy session or doing a strategy session and making offers to people. That's what you need to be focused on. So let me tell you a story. When I started on this journey, I wasn't sure it was going to work out as well as it ended up working. I had no idea I'd be teaching a course to you. I was just trying to figure out how to stop driving all over town meeting people and taking endless meetings that were going nowhere. I knew there had to be a better way, and so I began to try and meet people on LinkedIn. I was looking for entrepreneurs that had interesting startup businesses. I was looking to find a startup company to work with or for that had some cool technology. I was planning on using my skills as an entrepreneur to find and help others launch and grow their business. So when I started, I had a few hundred connections on LinkedIn, and mostly just close connections of people I'd worked with in the past. There was no real strategy to my connecting other than they were just people I knew. I spent 6 months refining this process I'm going to teach you. And during that time, I sent out over 6,700 connection requests, and only 1,800 people agreed to connect. That's about 27%. And out of those new connections, over 900 people downloaded information I'd created for them. And from that, I had 36 people actually book an appointment with me. I closed 28 deals, more than I ever had in my life. When that first appointment showed up in my calendar, I was literally jumping up and down in my office. I knew that if I could get one person to call me, I was going to be able to get more. It was like I was fishing for leads, and bloop, down went the bobber. I started telling my friends about this, and it started working for them too. I've since refined the process. My students today are connecting between 40 to 70% of the requests that they make, and they're closing deals at a higher than normal rate because the GETS method generates incredibly warm leads. You can do this. You just need to follow the plan. So I want you to know there's no reason why you can't make a return on your investment this week. I expect big things from you in this group, and I know that you're serious about success since you enrolled in the program. So now it's time to reach out and grab it. It's your time. So the record for sales during this 6-week program is $22,000 within the 6 weeks. So I want to introduce you to some friendly competition. The first customer. Every student who gets their first client rings the bell in Facebook group. And then we celebrate their success. And then I'm going to send you a special gift in the mail. So everybody that is in this program, everybody that is doing this is going to need to change. And so we've perfectly engineered the change agent. And there's 4 steps. It's a proven process. We turn to the unknown gray area of how to sell online and turn it into a precise science. While others use guesswork, we use a predictable, proven process, and we're certain it's going to make you sales. We're also giving you a new paradigm. We engineered a new way to think and reprogram your mind so that it's profound. It's like seeing for the first time. Successful people take lifetimes to build their mental comprehension mechanism, and we figured out how to install it in weeks. And we've got a winning community. It's hard to change your life when you're surrounded by the people you've always been with. Our students join a worldwide community of people on the same path so that dreams aren't laughed at but achieved on a daily basis. And finally is expert mentorship. Everyone needs help and advice when tackling new challenges, but true experts are out of reach to most people. So our students are getting 24/7, 365 experts on Facebook, group coaching calls, and on email. So I want to give you an overview of how the program works. So Module 1 is fundamentals and foundations. And we're going to go through setting your foundations, knowing your buyers, knowing your unique selling proposition, how to command attention, putting together your client-facing profile, and then introducing yourself to everybody in the group. Module 2 is where we get into targeting buyers and targeting the right buyers. And how do you search for your ideal prospects? And what are the ways in which you can do that on LinkedIn? In Module 3, we're going to dive into the LinkedIn sales funnel. Now, what is a sales funnel? And I'm going to give you a complete walkthrough of the entire LinkedIn sales funnel, how to get meetings, and how to close deals in a single phone call. Module 4, we're going to go through irresistible offers, how to create an irresistible offer. And I'm going to give you tons of examples of simple offers, expert offers, community building offers, examples of bottom of the funnel offers. This is going to be a super helpful module. Module 5, then we move right into networking and marketing. How to amass a powerful network that you can sell to at any time, literally building your LinkedIn gold mine that you can mine from now on. And how to continuously improve. And also we're going to get into how to create a brand that matters to your audience in Module 5. And finally, in Module 6, we're going to talk about marketing content, how to turn your content into an inbound marketing machine, and how to get free traffic. And also we're going to cover some paid traffic strategies that LinkedIn has to offer. Now, I've also thrown in 2 bonus sessions for you just for taking the course. So the first is automation and systems, how to scale this entire system. And I want to teach you and share with you some processes and tools that we use that are going to make your life easier. And then the second bonus is webinars. Now, I want to show you how to use webinars as a front-end offer and what systems to be using and why webinars are working so well. And I'm also going to show you how I learned to create a perfect webinar. So I know there's a lot going on. I just want to narrow this down. There's only a few things that should be on your mind right now. And the first is solid foundations. Who is my target customer? What problem do they have? How is that going to affect them? What are the prevailing trends in the market? How can I better solve my customers' problems? How can I help my customer achieve their desires? The second is belief system. Am I confident in my plan and my future? Are the thoughts that occupy my head during the day constructive or destructive? What are they and where do they come from? What bad habits do I need to break? And what good habits do I need to form? And then finally, the last 2, generating and doing strategy sessions. What can I do this month, this week, and today to generate 1 new strategy session per day? Once your foundations are in place, this is all that matters. So let me share some results from strategy sessions. Strategy sessions are a specific type of sales calls that I use. And you're probably thinking that you can't close someone in a single phone call. At least that's what I was thinking. I began to learn that I was clinging to a false belief. Because I'm an engineer by nature, I tend to think a lot about stuff. I need to sleep on it, digest it, mull it over. So when it came to selling others, I just figured they'd want to do the same thing. But a mentor told me that successful people make decisions and then they move on. He also asked me a really important question. He said, Mike, if you were in pain, would you like to stay there a long time or a short time? I said, what do you mean? He said, how long do you want to stay in pain? A short time, I told him. The secret to closing deals quickly is to only talk with people that are in pain and want to get out. That made a lot of sense to me. You might be thinking you're saving time by casting a wide net and then convincing people to do business with you, but that's the farthest thing from the truth. You don't need to convince the right prospects. You need to interview them. When you set up a system that filters out the ready now prospects from the ready later prospects, you're going to close the ready now people in a single call. The GETS method sorts through your prospects so that you can close the 3% that are ready now, but it also nurtures the 97% who are going to be ready later. So let's talk about the raw math of achieving your goals. I like math because a lot of people think that you set goals and it's just a fluke or luck and then goals happen or they don't happen and you don't know either way. So this is how most people think. It's pretty crazy, but I like to divide it down into some simple maths so we can see what's involved for achieving our goals. So I put together a spreadsheet and you can open this on Microsoft Excel. The first thing I do here is to figure out how much is a client worth to me. In this example, I said the client's worth, over a course of a year, is worth $5,000. Now, if you were charging more, then you can change this around. If you're charging a monthly fee, then multiply that by 12 to get what a customer is worth to you in a year. The next thing I want to know is how many appointments does your schedule allow you to book in a month? Some of you may book 20 and others may book only 3 or 4 appointments a month because of the type of business you're in. The final piece of information is your best guess at how many people will be able to close if you have that many appointments. In my example, I said if I have 15 appointments this month, I'm going to close 3 of them. So my close ratio is 20%. Now, some of you may have much higher closing rates and some of you much lower. Bear in mind, we will be setting appointments with very hot prospects, so your close ratio will start to go up. So in order to make $15,000 a month, we need to get 3 new clients. So you can play around with how many appointments you're going to need, how many of those will turn into customers, and what your average ticket price is per customer to figure out what you'll need to do in order to hit your annual revenue target. So in this scenario, there's quite a bit for me to take away. I know how many strategy sessions I need. This is using 1 in 5 conversion rate, so 20% conversion rate. That means I need to do 15 strategy sessions in order to make $15,000 a month. So that is 15 strategy sessions will get me 3 clients, which will make me $15,000 a month. Then if we divide that by days, judging by how many days there are in a month, that tells me how many strategy sessions I need to do per day. It's coming up here was 0.7. So that's less than 1 a day. So if you were doing a strategy session every second day, or if you were to close 1 in 5, and if your price was $5,000, and if you were to start from absolute scratch, here's what you'd make over a year. You'd be making 180 grand by the end of 12 months. You see, it's pretty crazy. I think a lot of people don't do the math to actually figuring out how to achieve their goals. They set a goal, and they're like, oh, I want to make 6 figures. And then they wonder why they don't make 6 figures. It's because they never really looked at the kind of mechanics of it before. If we just stick to something as simple as this, like selling our services at $5,000 a year, doing 15 strategy sessions a month, which is like less than 1 a day. And if we do that consistently over 12 months, we're going to make 180 grand by the end of the year. What you definitely want to do now is you want to start thinking about your goals. Like, first of all, how much money are you making right now? We've got to get crystal clear on that. Write that down. Then you want to think, well, how much money do I want to be making at the end of the year? You really want to give that some thought. Don't just say the first thing that pops in your mind. Don't ask your friend how much he thinks you should make. Figure that out for yourself. How much do you want? Then play with this model and figure out what is involved to get there. Because when you look at where you want to go, and then you look at where you are now, this thing will tell you what's involved each step of the way so that you can get there. It's very powerful. It's a very simple little model. So definitely take the time to do that. So that pretty much brings us to the end of this introductory video. I know it's pretty long, but it's really an important video because I really need to tell you how this thing is different. Like, if I don't tell you how this thing is different at this crucial first point of the program, then your mind is probably not going to be open to the different things which I'm going to say and the different things which we're going to be learning. You need to understand exactly how I came up with all this stuff. I just didn't sit down in front of my computer and make this stuff up so that I could sell it on the internet and make money. That's what a lot of people do. A lot of people make programs purely so they can make money themselves, and they rush it. And they make it in 2 days. It's not tested, not proven. And they have little thought or care for the results that the people get. That's not true with the GETS method. The most important thing is the results that people get. I'm not trying to make people feel good with my training, because I know that if I make people feel good in the short term, then I'd sugarcoat everything. And I just tell them some nice things. But I know that they'll feel good in the short term, but in the long term, they're not going to feel good. I know that in order to have long-term happiness, long-term success, the things which we have to go through now are a little bit challenging and push you outside of your comfort zone a bit. So I just want you to understand how this training was put together. It's my life's work. It's taking me my entire life to figure some of this stuff out. I built this program and really thought about this with a disturbing amount of thought to figure out how I can create as much positive change as I possibly can. It's really important that you keep an open mind to this stuff and that you follow this process step by step, one video after the other. If you need to get support anywhere throughout your journey, use the search feature. Check the content. Most things are covered in the content. Go to our Facebook group. Use our weekly Q&A calls. Use our customer support. This program is the absolute real deal. This process is proven, and all you need to do is do the work. That's it. Follow the process, one step after the other. Do the work, and you're going to be good. Make sure that you avoid the dark side at all costs. Understand the dark side. Understand what that voice in your head sounds like. Make sure that you're not listening to that voice. And the only 4 things that matter, the raw math to achieving your goals, we covered those 4 things. Make sure you really internalize that. Make sure that you write down your goals and put it on the wall next to your computer. Because I guarantee you, by next Wednesday, you're going to have forgotten your goals. Our memory is like a sieve. I'm not just saying that about yours. It's about all of ours. Our memories are very, very inaccurate. We need reminders of things that are important. That pretty much wraps up this first introductory video. I want to thank you for choosing to invest in yourself in this program. It's an amazing decision, and you're definitely going to appreciate the results once you go through all this stuff. It was a very wise decision, and I'm really looking forward to working with you throughout this whole program to implement everything and to really bring some awesome exponential change to your life. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the other video